Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, just a quick introduction. My name is Sharon and my channel is called Living on a Part-Time Income because that's exactly what I am doing. So I chat about things to do with budgeting, personal finance, food shopping, thrifting from charity shops and from vintage, and I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and watching this video. So basically today's video is mainly a foodie one. I've got a freezer inventory, and I did this because I wanted to double check that I wasn't going to double up on anything that I didn't need. And then I've got an Aldi shop to show you, and I've got a Marks and Spencer's shop to show you. So basically I'm going to show you the videos pretty soon, but I just want to do a quick welcome into June. And for me, May was a very busy, enjoyable, spendy month. So I'm kind of, finding my feet with making sure that the spending that I do this month is definitely going to be intentional. And I have got a fair bit of spending that is coming up. So basically my car is booked in for its MOT next week, and I also do need a new tyre. So worst ways I'm going to be spending around £100 mark minimum. And then I've also got the dentist at the end of the month, which is £70. I've used up all of my health insurance that I'm entitled to, so for this quarter I do have to pay in full for the dentist, so that's £70. And then I also want to get my hair cut, so I'll be budgeting around £50 for that. Then I've got 3 social events coming up this month, so I'll need to obviously make sure I've got money put aside for that. And then I'll be paying my holiday in the UK to Norfolk this month as well. That'll be later on in the month, but obviously I need to put aside money for that. So I'm going to try and keep my spending down to these things that I mentioned, and I'm going to try not to kind of go off topic with spending. The good thing is I have started selling on Vinted, and I'm going to talk about this more on my next video. So yeah, please tune in for the next one, because then I'll be kind of filling you in a little bit there, and also I will be going over my budget as well, my clothes budget there. So yeah, please do tune in for that next one. So it's definitely much intentional spending for June. Gonna try and just keep to my grocery budget, which I do tend to do. My freezer's looking good, my cupboard is looking good, my fridge is looking good. I should easily stick to my food budget. And apart from that, I've budgeted for train travel if I visit family. That's all been taken care of. So hopefully I will be within budget. A lot of the spending that I'm going to be doing this month, intentional spending, is going to be coming from savings. This is a savings which gets put aside for the things that I've mentioned. So yes, so I'm going to show you now the next part of the video, which is the freezer inventory, and thanks for watching. Hi guys, so I'm doing a freezer inventory before I go shopping this week. I've got a little bit of shopping to do in Aldi, and this week I should be going to Marks and Spencer's, to be confirmed, but more than likely. So I thought I would take a look in my freezer just to check what I have got and what I definitely don't need to buy. So starting at the top, I'm pleased to see that I've got 4 batch cooked meals. So on the left, I've got some mince, 2 portions there. And if you watched my previous video, you know that I cooked a vegetable curry. And so I've got 2 portions of that in the freezer now. And then to the right, we've got a beef and onion pie from Marks and Spencer's. And then I've got some halloumi fries, and these are from Christmas, I think. So yeah, I could think about using that within the next couple of weeks. Just trying to have a look and see the things that I would prefer to see go sooner rather than later. So yeah, halloumi fries are up there with one thing that can go sooner. And then behind the pie, I've got some bread, and then behind the bread is some rolls. I think there's 4 rolls. And then behind there, you can't really see to be honest, but behind there hiding are some ice lollies and also some cornetto style desserts. And then on to the next shelf, I'll pull this out. So I've got a couple of spicy bean burgers. I really like these. They're from Aldi in their freezer section. And they are great for a quick meal after work with chips. Hence why I've kept rolls in the freezer. Then I've got a ristorante pepperoni pizza. And then I've got some cod. I think there's only maybe about 2 or 3 possibly in there. Then I've got 2 packets of prawns, and I've got some calamari there. And then I've got 1 portion of salmon. I've got a turkey breast joint, which is from Christmas. So yeah, if I get some guests round, then that will be a roast dinner to do. So yeah, I'm okay there for fish really, and prawns. Actually, I could do with buying some scampi. I think I put scampi on the list. Or have I got some here? I think I did see some scampi actually. Yes, behind there is a packet of scampi. So I'm fine for scampi. So, put the prawns back. Then we come down to the third shelf, which is where I keep all my meats. When I went through this just earlier on, I was really surprised to see the amount of sausages that I've got. So I've got, I've batched them. So I've got 2 sausages here. I think they're chorizo ones. I've got some Toulouse sausages. I think there's 3 there. I've got a couple of hot honey sausages. I've got some lamb sausages. I've got 2 lots of pork sausages there. So I definitely do not need to buy sausages. Then I've got a pork crackling joint in there, which is also from Christmas. So that's another roast dinner meal for when somebody comes round. And then I've got 3 sheep kebabs. I've got chicken Kiev. And underneath the Kiev is some mince, so I don't need mince. Then I've got some chicken wings. I've got a reduced jelly sticker spaghetti bolognese, which is perfect for after a late shift. I've got another chicken Kiev. I've got some bacon. I've got a breast of chicken and a lamb shank. So I think meat-wise, I don't really need to buy anything at all, at least for another 2 or 3 weeks. I definitely need to start using up some of the sausages. Then the last tray is my veggie one. So I've got spinach here. I am running low on that. So so I will get some at some point. I've got some frozen carrots down there. I've got my peas. I've got some last of skin on fries. I've got some runner beans. I've got chips. And also below there, I've got some hash browns. And I've also got cauliflower cheese. So I'm okay in the veg department. So I'm pleased I've done this little inventory and check up, because sometimes when I go to Marks and Spencer's or Aldi, I just head automatically for sausages. I think, as you can see, I don't really need to be doing that. And yeah, I'm quite happy the fact that I don't really need to top up on my meats. I might buy another portion of scampi, because I do like scampi. It's just a nice, quick, easy meal after work. And then I've also got my batch cooked things up there and the pie. So yeah, that gives me a pretty good idea of what to steer clear of when I go shopping this week. So have you had a little delve into your freezer to see what you need to start eating soon? Or what you do need to steer clear of when you go to the supermarket? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. See you in a while. Hi guys. So it's Thursday morning and I've just come back from Aldi. I got all the basic bits that I needed, which I'm going to run through with you. And this was after I did my freezer inventory to see what I really did need and also what not to buy. So first thing on the list that I bought was the lemon and lime sparkling water, which was 55p. I always like to have one in reserve. And then next on the list was this toilet gel. Basically, I do get bleach, Domestos bleach, for the toilet, but they're completely run out. And I thought, well, let me give this a go, because it's 55p. It says it removes lime scale, kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses, and it's got a pine smell. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. If I don't like it, I don't have to buy it again. And then next on the list was a can of cherry tomatoes. I highly recommend tinned cherry tomatoes. I don't go back now. I used to buy chopped tomatoes, but these really elevate dishes, whether it's pasta, whether it's curries. The tomatoes are just so rich and flavoursome. And these were 75p, well worth it, really well worth it. And then cleaning spray. I always tend to get this antibacterial one, which is 85p. And then I've got a little bottle of Fairy, because my existing little bottle of Fairy is still going, and I've had it like at least a couple of months. So this Fairy was 99p. Then on to the Nord pack. So this is Aldi's version of Lurpak, and that was £2.18. Then I stocked up on my ready salted crisps, and these were 85p. I did want the Activia style yoghurt, but unfortunately they only had these light Greek style, and they are high on protein, so that's what swung it for me to get those, and they were 99p for the pack. Then next on the list, I thought these looked really nice, are some Wagyu burgers. These were from the frozen section. I've had their fresh Wagyu burgers and they're really nice. And because I have got rolls in the freezer, I thought I'd get these. So it was $2.99 and you get 2 in a packet. The next on the list was the foil. That was 99p. And then I got a can of baked beans. That was 41p. And then some more lentils. They were 49p. And then I needed some potatoes, some Mary Pipers, 2.5 kilo bag was £2.25. Then I needed some fresh tomatoes, and these sweet vine ripened ones were 95p. I thought that was a really good price. And then I saw the cherries, and I haven't had cherries for quite a little while, so yeah, I thought I'd treat myself. They were £1.29. And then onto the Tiger Bloomer loaf. I really like this loaf, as you may well have seen from previous food videos that I've done, and this is £1.09. And then last on the list, when I fancy something a little bit sweet, I've got these sugar-free cola sherbet sweets, and they were 99p. So altogether that came to £19.16. So I think I'm about £1 odd over budget, because I've spent £2 on groceries, and this week's budget is £20 because I'm going to Marks and Spencer's tomorrow. So yeah, I can take that £1 odd out of next week's grocery shop budget. So overall, very happy with what I've bought. And thanks for watching, and you will see me on the next one in Marks and Spencer's. Well, you might not see me in Marks and Spencer's, but I'll be certainly showing you my shop from Marks and Spencer's. So see you on the next one, guys. Hi guys, so it's Friday, just gone midday, and I have returned back from Marks and Spencer's with my mum. Some of you may know that I do take my mum shopping every other week to Marks and Spencer's, and she very kindly pays for shopping for me. So I'm going to run through with you what I got today. So first on the list, and which I think I'm most probably going to have for tea tonight, well, half of the pack anyway, we've got some chicken drumsticks. And I think Marks and Spencer's chicken is quite reasonable, to be fair. The bone chicken is anyway. So the chicken drumsticks for 6 are £1.80. And then next on the list, just pull that back, I needed to top up of tartar sauce. Marks and Spencer's tartar sauce is absolutely delicious. It is a bit spenny, but it's well worth it with your fish and chips. And that's £2.50. Then next on the list, I got some soup for the cupboard. This one is a Mexican style chili and bean soup, and it looks really tasty. Now, you may have seen my video that I put out that I had a chunky tomato and spicy lentil soup, and it was absolutely delicious. And I was going to get that one to put in the cupboard, but then I saw this one and I thought, you know what, this one looks really nice. Let me give that a go. So the chili bean soup was £1.10. Then next on the list, I've run out of pears. So I tried the Green William pears. I've not had this variety before. I normally get conference pears. So yeah, hopefully these will be just as tasty. These were £3. And then I got some deli style coleslaw, because I'm hoping to have some chicken, chips and coleslaw, and maybe a side salad for my dinner tonight. So the deli coleslaw was £2.25. Then I got some strawberries. These were £2.10. And then some red grapes. These were £2.40. Then I had to get some of the all butter cookies. If you've seen previous Marks and Spencer's videos, you know I love the all butter cookies in quite a lot of their different varieties. Well, I haven't had the Sicilian lemon and white chocolate for a few weeks, so yes, definitely decided to get those, and they're £2.50. Then I do like Marks and Spencer sausage rolls. So these are for my lunch shortly. And you get 2 in a packet and they are £1.10. And then next on the list, again, if you've seen my videos before, you know I like a Marks and Spencer's pie. They did have the garlic mushroom one. I was a bit tempted, but then I thought, oh, steak and kidney. That's going to be really nice with some mashed potatoes and vegetables and gravy, or with some chips. So yeah, got steak and kidney pie, and that was £3. And then next on the list, some crisps. So these are Marks and Spencer's versions of What's It's, and these were £1.10. Then I like these so much I had to get them again. Extra cream bourbon creams. These are really tasty. And these are 50p for a pack, which I think is quite reasonable actually for Marks and Spencer's. Not a bad price at all. And then last on the list is the mixed eggs. And these were £1.45, which I thought was pretty good going. So yeah, so that's my little shopping haul from Marks and Spencer's today. Let me know if there's anything there that you would consider trying, or maybe you've tried already. I'm looking forward to trying the soup. That's definitely going to be a meal in itself for one night next week. And the chicken, again, like I've said before, I think is really good value. And also the pies. So I have got at least 4 meals here, which I'm very happy about. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got to the end of this video, you'll have watched all my shops and my chat about my freezer inventory as well. I really appreciate you stopping by. And if you haven't already, please would you consider subscribing to my channel? It would mean so much to me. And thank you once again for coming to my channel, watching my videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. So thanks again, and see you on the next one. Bye guys.